Hi there, I'm Brenda Earle Stokes, the owner and creator of Piano Skills for Singers, the only online piano course for singers created by a singer. Today I wanted to share a video all about faking 101. The art of faking is about approximating an accompaniment part. We do this using our knowledge of harmony, and we use rhythms to estimate the basic gist of the piano part. There are several good reasons that this is useful. Number one, you don't quite have the skills to play an accompaniment part. You may think that because you're not a virtuoso pianist, that means you are limited in the songs that you can work on with your students or with yourself. So many songs, especially in the music theater genre, are really difficult, jazz too. By faking, you have a lot more repertoire available to you because you will be creating your own accompaniment parts rather than reading the written notes. Number two, you don't have a lot of practice. I have heard of voice teachers and coaches spending hours and hours each week trying to learn complicated piano arrangements. Who has that kind of time, first of all? Unless you're doing a concert with Audra McDonald, you will probably be fine faking some or all of your accompaniments. Number three, you want to customize the accompaniment part to suit your performance situation. High-level professional pianists fake all the time. I myself am constantly customizing accompaniments to suit the situation, and I know for a fact that this is commonplace in the industry. It's a hugely, hugely important skill to have. There are several scenarios where a simplified accompaniment part actually works a lot better than the more complicated written one. Number one, if you are accompanying a less experienced singer. Working with a child, teen, or adult student with more limited experience, the last thing you want to do is throw a busy accompaniment part underneath them. They will be lost. What I will frequently do is adjust the accompaniment part to suit the comfort level of the singer I'm working with. The number two reason where a simplified accompaniment part works better than a complicated one, it will be less acoustically overwhelming. If the singer you're accompanying has a softer voice, if there is no sound system, or if the piano or the room are just naturally very loud, a simplified accompaniment part will really help the singer to feel heard. This is one of those situations where you could adjust on the fly to simplify what you're doing by faking something a little bit easier so you don't acoustically overwhelm the singer. Number three, if you are self-accompanying. If you are accompanying yourself, you may want to simplify what you're playing on the piano. Even skilled singer-pianists can't always pull off a great vocal performance while they're hammering away at the keyboard. You will want to create an accompaniment that is full-sounding, but that allows you to still be present in your vocal performance. Now, I have been trained as a pianist for my entire life. I'm a very high-level professional pianist. I am used to singing and playing for myself all the time, but there are still plenty of times where I will simplify what I'm playing on the piano so I can really focus more on my vocals. And it really makes a difference in being able to, give a great performance of a song. Just dial back what you're playing on the piano a little bit. Simplifying accompaniment parts is not a cop-out by any means. It can definitely be a choice that you make, and it could be made based on your skill level, but it also can be tailored to suit whatever situation that you're in. So don't think that faking is a cop-out or is taking the cheater's way. It's actually a really, really effective technique that's very easy to learn. So how do you fake? Believe it or not, faking really only requires two skills. Skill number one is the knowledge of chords. You need to be able to read chord symbols and be able to play them on the piano. And this means, depending on the style of music, you may just need to know how to play triads, or you may need to know some 4-note chords, some 7th chords. The second skill that you need in order to fake is the knowledge of some rhythmic patterns. These are rhythmic patterns you can either hear by ear or rhythmic patterns that you can learn. All you have to do is play the chords in a rhythm that approximates the actual written accompaniment. It truly is as simple as learning to read chord symbols and just play them on the piano, plus adding a couple of rhythmic variations in order to create an accompaniment part. That's the basics. The next level would be adding voice leading, adding a bass line, but if all you want to do is get started faking, it's really that easy. So here are a few examples for you. I chose 3 songs that really benefit from a more simplified faked accompaniment. The first one is Eternal Flame by the Bangles. It's a song that us older people will remember as a song by the Bangles in the 80s. The younger people will recognize it from Pitch Perfect, and I know it's a song that gets called a lot, so you're going to get a lot of use. This is a really lovely song with a not too crazy accompaniment part, but if you're not somebody who plays a lot of accompaniments, it's just as easy to create your own accompaniment looking at using the chord symbols. So I'm going to play the written accompaniment part for Eternal Flame. Check this out. This is note for note as the sheet music from musicnotes.com. 3, 4. Close your eyes, give me your hand. So you can see not only is my right hand playing, there's inversions involved in all of this and all of this accompaniment part. There's also some complicated bass stuff. So now I'm going to fake it. I'm literally going to play root position triads in my right hand, bass notes in my left hand, play a little bit of rhythm, and you tell me if this makes a big difference. 2, 3, 4. Did that make any difference at all? Not really. And you didn't have to worry about fussing with all of those tiny little parts. Boom, you can play it. And so this particular piece of sheet music has the chord symbols written on the top. So why not just play those? So that's one example of how faking can really, really help. This next example is the song Stars in the Moon by Jason Robert Brown. I love Jason Robert Brown, and so do most of the music theater heads out there. But have you ever wondered why his songs are on the do not sing list for auditions? Let me tell you, a big reason is that the piano accompaniments are just a bear. And actually this goes the same for Sondheim. The accompaniments are just a bear. There are quite a few JRB songs that mimic guitar picking, which is why there's just so many runs and arpeggios in all of his music. If you have students that love Jason Robert Brown, I'm going to show you a way that you can play his songs without it being months and months of practice and preparation. So this is Stars in the Moon. So I'm going to play for you the first 2 pages of Stars in the Moon by Jason Robert Brown, which is from Songs in the New World. You notice I'm wearing my glasses now because there's a lot of dots on this page. So I'm going to play the written accompaniment as it is in the original score here. 2, 3, 4. was the first 2 pages and a little bit. That's challenging to play. There's a lot of coordination that goes on in this piece because it's sort of intended to sound a little bit like guitar strumming. It's got that kind of contemporary sound to it. So now I'm going to show you a simplified version of this that I'm just going to fake and see if you can see if this kind of gets the job done. Okay? Alright, so now I'm going to create an approximated faked version of this based on the chord progression and also based on, you know, kind of the general pulse or rhythm of this particular piece. Okay? I'm using the chord symbols and rhythms to do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so do you think that makes a big difference? First of all, this is way easier to play. This is the kind of thing you would have to probably work out a couple of details just because there are some sus chords in here, maybe you don't know. There's a couple of tricky rhythmic bits, but let me tell you, this is something you could work out in a few minutes rather than a few weeks. Okay? And you don't need to be virtuosic in order to be able to do it. So let me just sing a little bit on top of this so you can see how it goes together. So I'm going to take it from measure 9 where the vocals come in. So, a man without a dollar to his name, who had no traits of any value but his smile. I met a man who had no yearn nor claim to fame, so much easier. And also for the student or whoever's singing for you may appreciate having something a little bit more abbreviated rather than the full onslaught. So that's a great solution to Stars in the Moon. The third example is this song Quiet by Johnathan Reid Gealt. This gorgeous, gorgeous song is a huge hit with my younger music theater singers. I have had 3 different singers bring the song to me. The piano part is a holy terror to play. The accompaniment is intended to sound like guitar strumming. So again, very similar to Jason Robert Brown. But if you look at the written piano part, you'll die a little inside. I'm a skilled pianist. I can sight read really well. This is like the thing that I do. And every time I look at it, I go, oh no. So what I want to show you instead is how you can fake your way into something that sounds very similar. So Quiet by Johnathan Reid Gealt is a beautiful song recorded by Natalie Weiss, and it's a very popular one with some of the younger music theater singers. Really beautiful song. The piano accompaniment is very, very, very difficult. And what I think is interesting, the original recording that they do on the CD, there isn't really even that much piano in it. It's more strings and guitar. And so I'm not sure what this piano accompaniment part is supposed to be mimicking, but it's really, really difficult. Even for me, I would have to practice this a lot to be able to play it, but I'm going to play it for you slowly. This is the very bottom of the second page into the song. So it goes like this. very involved. And I've luckily had 3 different people sing it with me, so I've had a chance to look at it. But this is very complicated. And again, if one of your students brought this in, you might say, sorry, we can't do this, I can't play it. Except, what if you faked it? Now, this one doesn't have the chord symbols written in it, so you'd have to do a little digging or do a little analysis if you have those theory skills. But let me play part of it in a way that you'll be able to hear the difference, okay? Look at my face, don't you dare turn away, 'cause I'm losing my patience. Now that the man that I want to be with for the rest of my life, I have so much love to give you. Just open up your eyes and I'll see, time after time, find myself struggling to tell you what's burning inside, a glimmer of hope that you'll finally see. Still I remain quiet. So I was just playing the chords. I was doing a teeny tiny bit of noodling on the chords, but you can see that's still a perfectly full and satisfying accompaniment part. It's just not nearly as complex. And one of the singers that I was working with is a very, very experienced singer. Actually, all 3 of them, very experienced singers. One of the singers I performed it with, and I performed an approximation of the accompaniment part so that I could let her shine and let the time of the piece feel really comfortable and secure. So that's kind of my take on quiet, which I think at the end of the day, I don't think anyone's going to complain about a faked accompaniment part on that song. So I hope what this little video tutorial has shown you is that if you don't have the highest caliber professional piano skills, it doesn't mean you can't play most of the songs or all of the songs that you want to play. The technique that you want to use is faking. And all that it requires, as I said, was just a knowledge of chords and some rhythmic patterns, and then you're all set to play pretty much anything. You'll never be in that situation again where you have a student or somebody that you're working with who really, really wants to sing a song, but you go like, sorry, I can never play this on piano. By learning these skills of faking, you will never, ever have to say that again. All you'll have to do is read the chord symbols and you'll be good to go. If you want to learn more about faking and learning chord symbols and learning all about accompaniments, please check out my online courses, Piano Skills for Singers, Levels 1 and 2. Both of these courses are written by myself and include hours of video lessons plus downloadable printable materials that are really, really user-friendly and designed to get you up on your fingers in no time at all. Piano is a skill that you can have. You can do it, and it doesn't have to take you hours every day to do it. You can actually learn it a little bit at a time with guidance and structure from me. All the best to you. Good luck.